When I first became a Christian, I didn't know what it really meant to take up my cross. And I honestly didn't know the cost associated to becoming a Christian. You go to church and you hear all these amazing things and you hear how people's testimonies transformed their entire life. And you're emotional and you're amazed and you are astonished. But there's some things they had to give up to get that. On the flip side, it was the best decision of their entire life. But actively working in it, even now, is not always the easiest thing, but it's necessary. So for my Bible study, y'all, I am in Matthew chapter 16 because it is December 16th. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that stood out to me. But always make sure that you're reading your word, because honestly, I can sit up here and interpret it for you and what I read, but your time with God is so valuable and important. That intimate time actually reading his word to understand it is how you get the assistance you need to take up your cross. So I'm going to refer to the Amplified Version in Matthew 16, verse 24. And it says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to follow me as a disciple, he must deny himself, set aside his selfish interests, take up his cross, expressing a willing to endure what may come, and follow me, believing in me, conforming to my example in living, and if need be, suffering or perhaps dying because of the faith of me. For whoever wishes to save his life in this world will eventually lose it through death. But whoever loses his life in this world for my sake will find it. And that is life with me and for all eternity. For what will it profit a man if he gains the entire world, wealth, fame, success, but forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man is going to come in the glory and majesty of his Father with his angels, and then he will repay each one in the accordance with what he has done." Discipleship is going to cost you. I'm going to tell you what it cost me. Those relationships that I thought I needed because some man was satisfying my vulnerability. Some man was satisfying the craving for me not to be alone. Some man who honestly didn't even care about me. It cost me giving up things I thought I wanted to do on a Friday night to spend intimate time with God. It cost me giving up what I thought parenting looked like and replaced it with what God was calling me to do as a parent. It cost me to give up my innate reaction to snap when somebody says something smart and reevaluate my thoughts to align with walking in the way that Jesus walked. It's going to cost you some things. And honestly, everything that we give up is going to look different person by person. It may cost you friendships. It may cost you relationships when you publicly proclaim that you're a follower of Jesus Christ. It may cost you your platform. But like it says here, a person who is willing to give up their life here in this world for his sake will find life in him for all eternity. And while it cost me a lot to follow God, to take up my cross and follow God, I will do it time and time and time again. And I will work and work and work and work to get better at doing that on a daily basis. Chapter 16 was rich. It was full of information. And when I go back and I look at it, and I'm looking at chapter 16 and I'm looking at verses 2 through verse 4, but I'm going to look at it in the CEV version. This is where you have the Pharisees and the Sadducees coming to Jesus yet again and asking him to show another miracle. And Jesus explains that faith should not be reliant on these miraculous miracles. He's been saying this throughout the book of Matthew. When I looked at this in the CEV version, it gave me an even better understanding. So when I'm looking at this, it says, if the sky was red in the evening and you say the weather will be good, but then if the sky is red and gloomy in the morning, you say it's going to rain. So you can tell what the weather is going to be like just by looking at the sky. But you don't understand what's happening right now. You want a sign because you're evil and you won't believe, but the only sign that will be given to you is what happened to Jonah. Jesus, to me, is telling them you don't have the discernment. You can look at the sky and see exactly what's going on. You can predict what the weather is going to be like. But these things that are happening around you, left and right, you're not looking at those and seeing those as miracles of God. You're not discerning what that is. You're not seeing the discernment, but yet instead these are teachers. Discernment is a tool that is defined and developed by you spending intimate time with God, by you noticing what he's doing in your life, by you looking at his works, by you reading his word. You can discern what's happening all around you. And then we have these teachers, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, who are teaching people the law, but they can't even see what's happening in front of their eyes. When Jesus departs from the Pharisees and the Sadducees and he's walking away with the disciples, and the disciples forgot to bring bread along for the trip, Jesus looks at them and is like, listen, and to me, he cracking a joke. He's like, okay, well, as long as you don't take up that bread from the Pharisees and the Sadducees, we good. The disciples were confused and they're like, okay, he must be coming at us because we forgot the bread. But no, what Jesus was saying to them was, listen, you forgot bread, but that's okay, because literally in the last 2 chapters, you've seen me feed 4,000 and 5,000 people with a couple of loaves of bread. So you know I'm going to provide for you. You know I'm a provider. So why even question that? What I'm saying is be mindful of taking the word from people who aren't living in the word, for taking the word from the Pharisees and the Sadducees, people who I call hypocrites, people who aren't following my word, people who are asking for miraculous signs from me when I am calling you to simply just follow me and believe. Honest, for me, that is just another reminder to add to my book of when I am in doubt of, God, are you going to take care of me? God, are you going to provide for me when this happens? God, are you going to do this? God, are you going to do that? When I'm in any sort of doubt, you got to look back at what he did. Instead of always asking for a sign, Jazz, instead of always asking for him to show you something else, look at what he did and stand on that faith. Because always asking for a sign shows a lack of faith. Always asking for a sign shows that you may not be 100% sure that he's going to show up. God, can you show me that? No, look at what he did. I know what God did for me. Oh, God pulled me from a job that I hated, that I dreaded, that changed my perspective on how I was operating outside of work hours. I was stressed and overwhelmed in that job. I know God pulled me from that job. God allowed me to dive deeper into his time with him, dive deeper into my word, dive deeper into being intimate with him, and even allowed me to have a platform where I can share the word of God unapologetically. I'm still learning. And God keeps revealing things to me. God keeps revealing what he wants me to do. He keeps revealing to share the journey that I'm going through. Because honestly, baby, like he said here, when you give up the life that you thought you needed, baby, you couldn't tell me I didn't need that job I was at for 14 years. You couldn't tell me I didn't need that. But when God called me to give that up, to follow him, baby, the life I had before stands on nothing compared to this one right here. Times and in moments where I'm unsure of where my journey is going to lead me, of where God's going to take me, I have to look at the bread that he provided the last time. Everything he provided last time for me, I have to look at that so that I'm not of little faith, so that I'm standing on what he did in the past, so I can understand this is the character of my Father. My Father is the type of Father who provides bread to 5,000 people, to 4,000 people, when there's only 2 or 7 loaves. My God, that's my Father. And if I can stand on that, baby, I'm good to go. Is what I got from Matthew chapter 16. And like I said, I'm so interested to hear what you got from Matthew chapter 16. Y'all comments, literally, I am so invested in what you guys find. And it's just so much that we can unpack together as we follow God together, as we dive into his word together. So let me know in the comments what you got. I can't wait to read it. And I will talk to you later. Y'all have a good day. Bye.